To the Oakdale City Council regular meeting, October 27th, 2020. Sue, would you do roll, please?
Councilmember Ingebrigtsen.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Sledford.
Here.
Councilmember Zappel.
Here.
Mayor Lindsay.
Here. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First up on our agenda tonight is a public hearing dealing with the off-sale intoxicating and tobacco sales license over at 477 Geneva, which is the Furlong liquor store. So, Chris, are you going to take that, or?
Chelsea?
Gotta get around the table. Mayor and Council, for you this evening, we have a liquor license and tobacco sales to 4777 Geneva Liquor Corp., commonly known as Furlong Liquor. The business has been sold to a new ownership, so as we do anytime a liquor license changes hands, we do need to run a background check on the new owner and managers, which has been done by the Oakdale Police Department. They've completed their investigation. They found no negative findings, therefore no reason to, or no disqualifying factors. So it's going to be in the same location, same use as always, but new owner, which is why we're here tonight. And I believe the new owner is here if you would wish to hear from them as well.
Very good. Councilors, any questions for Chelsea? Because the new owner is here, Ravi, I met you tonight. Please, you're welcome to come up and tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Sure, thank you.
So come to the podium and state your name and address, and then share a little bit about yourself and the business.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councilwoman and Councilman. And I'm delighted to acquire this great business, and which is also a legacy business here. It has a great legacy and wonderful owners. And in this round, we acquired 4 properties, and this is the best one, I believe. And I loved the whole transaction. It went very smoothly, and we are looking to make number of improvements to the property. Already, we have started with installing the security cameras, which are already in place, and already the police officers acquired some of the recordings because of some accident in the area. So we are delighted to be of help. Meanwhile, I am Ravi Harsur, and my home address is 11 Shelburne Drive in Oak Brook, Illinois. And I'm delighted to be here in the great state of Minnesota and great town of Oakdale. And I'm looking to build my businesses in this area. I enjoy coming to Minnesota thanks to my friend and my manager, Sam, here. And we are going to acquire a number of businesses in the area. We are already talking to some other people in the area as well. And my wife also is looking to move to the state. She's a physician. She has already interviewed in a VA hospital in St. Cloud. And we are very delighted and grateful for your help in acquiring the licenses. And I take this opportunity again to thank you all for approving the license. I think you already approved, right?
We're going to discuss it and have a motion to approve tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
okay.
In anticipation, I thank you all. If you have any question, I would be happy to answer.
Councilor, is there anything for Ravi?
No.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations.
So could I have a motion then, please, unless there's other discussion?
Do you have to do a public hearing?
Oops. Sorry.
Details.
Big detail.
I saw Jim lean forward. Wait a minute.
So this is a public hearing to deal with this transfer. Is there anybody in the audience? So I open to the floor of the audience for comment, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this activity or this issue? Again, is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this issue? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. I'll bring it back up to the dais for discussion or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the issuance of an off-sale intoxicating liquor license and the issuance of a tobacco sales license to 4777 Geneva Corp., doing business as Furlong's Liquors, located at 4777 Geneva Avenue North.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any additional conversation? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then that motion passes as presented. Thank you. And thank you too. Welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
Next item up on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from a workshop, council workshop on September 8. Upon review, did anybody have any comments or questions that you want to bring up? Could I have a motion then, please?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes and the meetings are approved. Next up is open forum. And I think, if it's okay with you, let me do this proclamation. And then if anybody in the audience wants to comment about anything that's not on the agenda, we'd like them to do so. So this is a proclamation dealing with Small Business Saturday. And whereas, according to the Small Business Administration, there are 30.7 million small businesses in the United States. And whereas small businesses employ 47.3% of the employees in the private sector. And whereas 62% of the small businesses reported that they need to see consumer spending return to pre-COVID levels by the end of 2020 in order to stay in business. And whereas 96% of consumers who have shopped on Small Business Saturday agree that shopping at small, independently owned businesses supports their commitment to making positive social, economic, and environmental impacts. And whereas 97% of consumers who have shopped on Small Business Saturday agree that small businesses are essential to their community. And whereas 95% of consumers who have shopped on Small Business Saturday reported that the day inspires them to go to small, independently owned retailers and restaurants all year long. And whereas Oakdale celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and in preserving the community. Therefore, I, Paul Reinke, the mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota, hereby proclaim November 28, 2020 as Small Business Saturday in the city of Oakdale and urge our residents to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year. In witness thereof, I have hereby set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Oakdale to be affixed on this 27th day of October, 2020. So that's pretty cool. Open forum. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to comment on something that's not already on the agenda? Seeing none, I'm going to move forward on the next agenda item, which is our consensus motions. Tonight we have two of them, A and B. Upon review, councilors, did you want to pull either of them? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve consensus motions A and B as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those consensus motions pass as presented. Next up on our agenda is the advisory boards and commissions. We have one item in front of us, which is the appointment to a new person to the tree board, Mr. Glenn Giacoletto. Earlier this evening, we had a chance to interview Glenn for this position. Terrific gentleman, passionate, longtime person. And could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Glenn Giacoletto to serve on the tree board, term to begin October 28th, 2020.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes as presented. Next item on our agenda is Public Works Director, City Engineer. And we have a Titan Park offer. Good evening, Mr. Bachmeyer.
Good evening. Honorable Mayor and members of the council, before you is seeking direction from the council on the sale of a parcel of property that was created earlier this year when we did a minor subdivision in an undeveloped park that created the single-family parcel on the end of 4th Street Place. At that time, an appraisal was done to identify the value at about $85,000. I do recall the appraiser saying how difficult it was to determine the value because of the limited amount of lots that are actually available in Oakdale. So it was a real challenge to identify the value. We did solicit realtors to see if there was any of their clients that might be interested in purchasing the property. And then most recently, we reached out to builders to see if they would be interested in the parcel. Working with the building official, she had identified some builders that do a nice job building homes in Oakdale. And one of the builders did express an interest in the property, initially provided an offer. We told him through the administrator that that was insufficient. He revised his offer to $75,000. So we're seeking direction from the council to determine if that offer is sufficient or if you want to proceed with a different course of action. With that, it stands for any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Counselors, anything for Brian?
Yeah, Brian, I'm just curious, was there a lot of interest, I mean, across the board? Was there really none? Or don't we really know?
Well, I think, as I recall, we got the minor subdivision approved in early July, and we reached out to the realtors initially, and we, quite honestly, we didn't get any interest from the realtors. So most recently, we reached out to the builders, and that's when one of them expressed an interest. So it has been several months with very limited interest.
What's the arrangement with the realtors? Were we willing to pay a commission?
No, we had basically just contacted the realtors and said, if you have any clients looking for a vacant lot, we have one that is available. We had not retained the services of a realtor, so at this point, we're not talking about any realtor fees.
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor, City Council, I was about to bring a proposal to the council to retain a realtor at this meeting because we weren't getting any activity on it. So this came in right at the 11th hour as we were preparing the agenda, and we were able to negotiate a higher rate and so save the realtor fees this time. So that's how this all came about.
Thank you.
What about the closing costs? Who's going to pay the closing costs? Are we or is the builder?
Well, the recording fees we would have to pay, but the balance of it would be the property owner's responsibility, or the buyer's responsibility.
I'm fine with this.
I have a sense that, if we want to save the fees, it's $5,000 to $6,000, depending on whatever. And if we hired a guy or a company to give us an appraisal, maybe we say let's go to $80,000, in essence, making ourselves neutral,
Right.
still not paying realtor fees, but paying attention to the appraisal that was given to us and we paid for. So I'd like to say let's offer it back at $80,000. If he goes with it, all fine. If he doesn't, then we choose to go down the path with a realtor. That's an idea. Versus just accepting it now.
I would say accept the offer. I mean, we all know this lot very well. It's such an odd lot to begin with. I've always been skeptical in our ability to sell it just because of its uniqueness, we will say. I think $75,000 is fair. I would suggest we just accept the offer and direct staff to initiate the contract and button this project up.
Susie, any thoughts?
I'm with Kevin on this one. I think we should just get her done.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Somebody make a recommendation and let's go.
I'll make a motion to direct staff to initiate the contract agreement for the sale of the city-owned parcel located at 6862 4th Street.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion carries or passes, and
Thank you.
we got the thing sold. Thank you, Brian. Next up on the agenda is other staff, and Chief Wold, you're up as a comment that if you'd like to talk about the acceptance of the donation from landfall.
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Thanks for having me. As we spoke earlier, we contract for fire and EMS in the city of Landfall, and we've reached out to them to see if they'd use a portion of their CARES funding to purchase a Clorox 360 cleaning machine to help combat, COVID-19 and any other bacterial diseases that we get in our ambulance and other areas, city hall, classrooms, and that kind of stuff. So they have graciously purchased that. We've received the unit, we've used it several times, and we're just looking for you to accept that donation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Terrific. Thank you, Chief. Counselors, anything for Chief? Could I have a motion then?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution number 2020, accepting a donation from the city of Landfall of a disinfecting system for use by the Oakdale Fire Department in response to the COVID-19 public health emergency.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any conversation? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes as presented. So
Thank you.
Also,
And thank you, Landfall.
yep, and the mayor, Sudkamp down at Landfall, I've gotten to know him a little bit through the BRT Gold Line process or project. So a special thanks to him and his leadership and the city administrator, and then Chief, again, yourself, to make this a reality. So, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Next up tonight is time with City Attorney, Mr. Thompson.
Honorable Mayor, members of council, nothing specific to report tonight, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jim. Anything, councilors?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Colleen.
What do you know about this absentee voting not requiring a witness? You know, they waived it because of COVID and everything, and now there seems to be a debate, a lawsuit going on. So are all those that voted by absenteeism with no no witness, are those going to be thrown out then, or?
Well, Mayor, members, of council, I'd have to check on that a little bit more. I do know that, you know, the Secretary of State said if you voted absentee in the primary without a witness, you could also vote that way in the general election. I'm not actually familiar with the lawsuit you're
Okay.
referring to, so, but I can certainly check into
Yeah,
it. and
could
I'll
you?
get back to,
Yeah.
I'll get back to Chris
right,
and
thank
she can
you.
report to you.
Councilors, anything else?
Yeah.
Jake?
Jim, I just want to say thank you for the letter and the prompt attention to that letter that you gave me. Much appreciated and needed, so thank you.
Welcome.
Good? Very good. Thank you, Jim. Time with our administrator, Ms. Volkers.
Mayor, council members, the only thing I have to report in addition to what we've been talking about as far as budget planning, and we'll continue those discussions, is I think I should do a letter to the city of Landfall, the mayor, council, and city administrator, thanking them for that generous donation.
Yes.
On behalf of all of you, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Councilors, anything for Chris? Very good, thank you. Next up is our council presentations. Go ahead.
I want to do a shout out to the Cub Scouts, Troop 89. And I want to thank them for asking me to speak at their group regarding government and city council last night here at City Hall. It was a lot of fun with that group, and they had a lot of great questions asking how city council worked. So thanks for having me again, and look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Very cool. Jake, anything?
Nope.
Kevin? Susie? I've got a couple things. One is the dealing with elections 2020. So Washington County residents wanting to vote early or by absentee ballot may do so at Oakdale City Hall. Address is 1584 Hadley Avenue North, and you can do this on Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. City Hall will also be open this Saturday, the 31st, from 8 to 3, and next Monday, November 2nd, from 8 to 5 for voting. On Election Day, next Tuesday, polls will open at 7 a.m. and then close at 8 p.m. Voters need to go to their designated voting location on that day. Also, we have a pumpkin carving contest, so the city's annual pumpkin carving contest is underway. So drop off your creation at the Discovery Center tomorrow as it closes October 28. There are 3 categories: Best, Most Creative, and the Pumpkin category for ages 12 and under. Winners will be selected at the October 29th Flashlight Pumpkin Hunt. Also, the park cleanup event. So on behalf of the City Council, I want to thank everybody who participated in the Oakdale Recreation Department's annual park cleanup event. Volunteers tidied up 10 city parks during the week of October 5. In addition to the annual cleanup, the city has also has the Adopt a Park program. So to learn more, please call the Public Works Department at 651-730-2740. I'm going to bump back up to the park cleanup. There were leads. I think, Kevin, you were a lead at the park you cleaned up at Eberly? Eberly. And so the leads, that was neat. And so thank you for everybody that took the time to organize, to get your friends, and to get the materials and get these parks cleaned up, because it makes a difference. Anything else before I move on? Final comment or final item tonight is our claims. So in front of us are the summary of our claims from October 10, 2020 to October 23, 2020, in the amount of $546,415.50. Upon review, any corrections or questions? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve claims as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Any conversation? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the claims are approved as presented. You know, I've got two other things to say.
Okay.
One is just a thank you to the election judges. You know, I commented the election is coming up here next week. So thank you very much. These election judges, especially this year with the people that we've seen here at Oakdale City Hall, has been significantly high. So thank you, and appreciate the volunteering, the time and talents. And there's a little stipend, but thank you. Also to the people that are working behind the scenes. You know, Sue Berry, tremendous coordination and work with the county and our own volunteers and our own people to make sure that that goes off smoothly. I wanted to say condolences to the Don Regan family. Maybe you saw that Don passed away. Don is a longtime community advocate and a property owner, and just condolences to his family. And then finally, we're not going to be able to get together again until after the election, so it's best wishes for the candidates for the Oakdale City Council. We have two council positions that are up for election, and we have 8 people who have decided to go after them, and best wishes to everybody. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, and good night.